Hi, this is Kristen from thehomemakersresource.com, and I'm here to show you all about ham.
Now, if you go to the store and you purchase one of those cut-up pieces of hams, or one of those spiral hams, or one of those glazed honey hams, you're going to pay a real premium. But this, a little-known trick is that if you buy a pork shoulder picnic, or any type of pork picnic, it's just as good, and you can use it to make your own pieces of ham, to put in various dishes, or to eat in pieces as just part of a meal. This one I picked up for 99 cents a pound, which is a really good price. And what I'm going to do is show you what I do with it after I cook it. Now, if I was going to be cooking just a regular meal, I could glaze this up and put some herbs or put some cloves in it and serve it just like a ham. But because I'm going to be packaging this up, I'm just going to take this and cook it for about 18 minutes a pound, and since this is 8.5 pounds, it's going to be a 2-hour and 35-minute time in the oven at 325 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take it, and for this job, I've selected just one of these, just a regular roasting pan. It's pretty deep. It's got some grooves so it'll catch all those drippings so you can make a ham gravy if you like. And it's got a nice lid so that you can put that over the top and keep it from getting dried out. You really want to make sure that you keep it nice and moist. So we're going to pop this into the pan. We're going to cook it for 2.5 hours. Remember, that's 18 minutes per pound at 325 degrees. And when we're done, we're going to take a look at what we can do with this nice big shoulder picnic. Well, time is up and the ham is finished cooking. I really wish you could smell it. It smells incredible. What we're going to do is we're going to let this rest for a little while. If we pull this out now and we try and cut it while it's still very hot, fresh from the oven, what's going to happen is all of the juices are going to just run straight out of the meat, and it's going to leave us with meat that's very dry afterwards. But I do want to show you something before we let it wait. Take a look at that. Now, the way you notice that there's a lot of fat on the underside of this particular piece, and you want to take it off. However, I don't take it off until after the ham is already fully cooked. And the reason why is that as long as it's on there, it keeps it from drying out while it's cooking. And we want to make sure that we have everything working in our favor to keep it from becoming dry. So after it's rested, we will cut that off, and I will show you how I use the ham. Alright, the meat is done, so I put it out on a grooved cutting board. That way, if there's any juices when we cut, it'll just fall into these grooves and not get on the counter. The first thing we're going to do is to remove this big piece of fat, because while it was good for the cooking, it's not necessarily good for the eating. So we're going to take that off and put it in the trash, and then I will show you how to carve it. Alright, you can see that I started to carve it off the bone here. It's helpful if you have a meat fork and then a nice large carving knife. And see, here's the bone, and here are some slices that we're just cutting this way and allowing it to fall down, and then we just do a small cut here to separate from the bone. You can save this bone for soup. You can use this throw it into a split pea soup, and that can be your soup bone. Now you'll notice it doesn't have the typical ham color, but that's because this is not technically a ham. This is just a pork picnic, which it'll vary in what it'll look like from manufacturer to manufacturer. But this one is much lighter, so it's less salty than a ham, but it still has a sort of ham-ish taste. It doesn't taste like a pork chop or anything like that. So this is a good option if you're trying to watch your salt intake. But you can see that I have them sliced up into slices, and I'll take these and I'll place them flat into some bags, stacked a little bit, once they have completely cooled so that they don't let off any condensation in the bag. And you can see some of these pieces here, they're a little bit smaller and they're not as uniform as these slices. So what we'll do is we'll put them into a bag for pieces of soup or something to be thrown in to a casserole. So that is what we do with the pork picnic.